Hello, everyone. Welcome to this first podcast, Starseed Gathering. So I'm Annabelle, Ivaya. I am here as a Akashic guide and a healer. I call myself a deep soul healer because we go very deep into our soul when we do healings with me. So I've been having my own business as a spiritual guide for a few years now, and I decided with my guides, because I don't decide anything on my own anymore, to actually invite a lot of beautiful souls to share a bit about them, share about what's important to them, so share messages to other people. And why did I choose Starseed Gathering is because I do believe I am a starseed, and a lot of people that come to me are too. And we have beautiful stories to tell with a lot of ups and downs. And I believe it's very important for everyone to listen to what we went through and maybe get inspired by what we went through because, life is not perfect because we're on this path. We still have those waves, but what happens is that we find these beautiful gifts and tools along the way that helps us. And I think that was part of what I wanted to share is my gifts and then the gifts of every beautiful soul I've met along the way. And also sharing with you some stuff that we will see how it goes. We're going to be channeling the whole session. So just stay open to what is going to come up. And if you want to comment below, you can always comment as you wish, and we will answer your questions. I'm going to invite Lauren to just tell us who you are and why you accepted this invitation for this first episode of May 2023.
Well, hi, I'm Lauren Irving. So I've been working with Annabelle for just a few months. She has been instrumental in my growth and my path. It's been more than a few months. It's been almost a year, hasn't it? Oh my goodness, time does fly. So I started doing energy work in about 2017 professionally, and have done energy work ever since. And it was difficult for me to find someone that I wanted to work with to do work on me. It's much easier to do work on other people than it is to do work on yourself. I've always done work on myself, but Annabelle was the first person that I came across that I really just resonated with, who resonated with my energy. And so I'm so pleased to be able to work with her and I think I could call her my friend, not just my energy worker. We found a lot of wonderful common ground. And so I'm excited to be here and to be able to do this.
Oh, what a beautiful message. Thank you, thank you. um, yeah, so it's very interesting what you're saying. I think this whole process teaches us, about energy. And for I don't know where people are going to be listening from, where you're at in this spiritual path. So we might talk about stuff that you don't know, but when you understand how energy works, you also understand that and that you're not connecting with people for no reason. There's always a reason why you connect with someone. And sometimes it's for a lesson, a
Yeah,
challenge. And sometimes it's for beautiful growth, soul growth, and soul reconnection. I think for me, I can say when I started working with Lauren, I was like, man, we had a lot of lifetimes together. It was not the first time that we had met, and we
for
could feel
sure.
the energy. Um, and you will probably feel that most of the people that will come on that podcast, I think that's going to be the energy, like this kind of reconnection of souls, which is a beautiful part. And yeah, we want to work with someone that we feel comfortable because so many things that can occur during these sessions, and it's very important to feel safe. Very important to feel safe.
Absolutely. And I know you said earlier that you considered yourself to do deep healing. And I can attest to that. My goodness, we have gone deep, when we've done some of my sessions, that to stuff that I knew was there underneath the surface, but I couldn't myself get to. Just like I have clients who come to me who know that there's something there, but they can't get to it. Sometimes we have to have another person, another set of eyes, another set of hands, another set of guides to get down to what's actually going on. And so it's lovely to be able to meet a soul who, is on the same level as you and who understands and who can help you get there.
Yeah. Yeah, and that's beautiful. Tell us what you do. Tell us a bit more about what you do, because people will probably know me a little bit more.
Okay.
But what do you do with people?
So I'm a massage therapist. I've been a massage therapist since 2011, so like 12 years. And that's where I got my start in finding out about energy work, just kind of starting to brush the surface when I went to massage school, found some like-minded people, and began to understand that work, began to do my own work on myself. And then, of course, it wasn't until 2017 when I took classes to do energy work professionally and started doing that. And so I do all kinds of energy work, from just clearing aura and chakras to past life work. I'm an Akashic guide, really beautiful, incredible experiences that people have had, and working through that, soul retrievals, and as well as finding gifts, integrating gifts into your life, finding concrete ways to make a difference in your life. And then I can also integrate that with the massage that I do. Um, uh, Annabelle actually also helped me to bring my light language online. And so I also speak light language and sing light language with my clients. Oftentimes, I'll find that even if we're just working in the energy bodies, there will be something that's trapped in the physical body. So a lot of times I'll integrate doing massage with light language to release huge things in the system, belief systems and blocks and all kinds of things. And we'll release it through light language and massage, and then energy work on top of that. And it all blends together in really, really beautiful work that I'm so proud of and so glad that I get to be a part of. It's so lovely to be able to be a part of someone else's evolution and their healing. Best job ever. So that's a little bit about what I do.
Oh, I love that. I love that. Yeah. And I can really feel that it's very, um, you've taken everything that you know and you made it your own. And I know it was part in my journey too, because I had so many things I could offer. And at some point I was like, I don't know, like, you start and you're like, yeah, I can, connect with people that have passed away. I can, distance healing. I can do this. I can do Reiki. I can do, different types of things. And at some point you get lost because you're like, okay, but what am I supposed to do with all of that? Even more so if you have a 3D job, like a 9 to 5 job, and you're like, oh, okay, what does that mean? So all of these activations, they're very interesting, but I think we find a lot of peace and harmony when we actually can bring these gifts into one package of who we are. This is because I don't want to be like all of my beautiful, thank you, all of my teachers. I want to be me with whatever I'm supposed to be doing on this planet. And
Yes.
that took me a long time to understand what was I supposed to be doing with all of that. How was it for you?
Oh, very much the same. I have had a tendency to trust other people more than I would trust myself, trust my guides. They are older than me. My teachers know more than me. They're more educated than me. They're wiser. They have all of these things. And over the last couple of years, I've really had to unlearn a lot so that I could reintegrate with who I am and what I do in my own work and really, really make it my own. Um, and learning to trust myself, my own intuition, my own guides, that I hear, that I see, that I sense and feel exactly what needs to happen if I'll just trust myself and step into
Yeah. Oh my God. Yeah, I resonate so much with that because, and then you get used to a certain way of doing things. And then for those that haven't had this kind of channeling opening kind of thing, you'll see when it starts that it's like, it's very interesting, but it gets, they're pushing us. They're always pushing us to step out of our comfort zone. And it's very important, as you say, to not always look up to our teachers because we're all learning. There's no, well, for me, I will always be learning. I'm going to be 82 years old and I'm going to be learning too. It's not because I'm on that path. I think I'm grateful for the tools that I have to go through the challenges of life, but I'm nowhere near perfect or nowhere near like, enlightened in all of aspects of my life. And, I can't wait for that to happen for everyone on this planet, but still we're learning.
it.
And and that's been coming up a lot, like all of this. At some point when you start, like you look up to your teachers and you feel they're so better than you, right? I remember that feeling that you were explaining. It's like you feel, wow, I'm nothing, like how am I gonna be that good? Like they're so good. Like we look up to them, right? We put them on a pedestal. and
Yep.
and I think it's just part of the learning because, and then at some point we have to take a step back, okay, and say, okay, I've developed stuff. I need to believe in my gifts, believe in my own channel abilities, believe that I can heal someone. Because at first, everyone that starts in that field, we're like, maybe I'm gonna do something wrong, maybe it's not gonna work. There's all of these questions.
Yep.
Yeah.
No, that's so true. And yeah, I mean, it all comes down to trusting the universe, trusting yourself, allowing yourself to be pushed, to expand, to grow. Um, and it's such a beautiful process when you look back on it and see where you were and where you are. And that you literally, it's like you bloom, you become a different person, in the best of ways. Or maybe it's becoming more yourself, not a different person, but truly becoming you, releasing all the masks, releasing all of the things that aren't you, and becoming your authentic self. And during the process, sometimes it is very painful. There have been times where I have literally been on my knees, screaming, crying, like up chucking, spiritually vomiting, all of this self doubt or anything that is blocking me from being where I need to be. And sometimes it's very uncomfortable. But once you get to the other side, you see what a beautiful gift it is and how wonderful it is to be there. So it's not always easy, it's not always pleasant, but it is always good.
Oh, that's so beautiful. Yeah, I do feel that too. Those waves that we have, you learn to ride them, but at sometimes you're having the wave is right in the face, and it's okay, but we know how to swim, but
Yep.
it's part of how can I release. And I the release part is just so heavy because we have this, the ancestors, our ancestors, and then we have everything that we lived since we're our mother's wombs, and then all of those galactic lifetimes, and then whatever is happening in our lifetime right now, and all
Mhm.
of that is all merged together. And then at some point we get to these points where we feel lost, we feel fearful, we feel like we're not doing enough, we're not doing the right thing, it should go faster, and all the mind and ego starts, and it's just a pain.
Oh
So
yeah.
it's learning to ride those waves. And you're so right. I've had a lot of trauma in my life, a lot of like very difficult stuff, and looking at pictures because someone that I know here in Mexico was like, how long have you had your hair cut like short? And I was like, man, it's been about 10 years now. And I wanted to share it with them, but I shared stuff of me and they were like, wow, you've changed so much. And I don't even recognize that person on these pictures because you were talking about masks and identities. And I was trying to be such a people pleaser all the time. Like everybody was before me, always, always. And I was my inner child was very wounded, and I was reactive, and it was just really hard to be me. I don't think I had the environment, or I was not letting myself being me in that environment I was in for most of my life until I finally broke into. And then I was like, man, I have to look at my relationship, my family relationship, my relationship to myself, my work. It's like you need to look at everything around you and make different choices. How is it for you, this part of like when you decided to choose you?
Hmm. Um, it's been very interesting, deciding to choose me. It's a process. It's not a decision and then you're there. It is very much a process. Um, and the buzzword that keeps coming up for me is alignment. Um, Finding alignment in all areas of my life. And again, it's a process. Um, but as I begin to choose myself to be in alignment with my higher self, things begin to fall into place. And sometimes it's not the way I expect them to. It doesn't happen the way that I want it to, dang it. But it does begin to fall into place. And I begin to feel more myself, more aligned. Um, and that's when you know you're on the right path, because it's you start to find peace and you start to feel like yourself, feel right in ways that maybe you haven't before. Um, and so when you find that peace, and it's not just an inner peace, it's a piece of the mind, it's a piece of the heart, it's a piece of the spirit, it's a piece that's different than it's almost beyond description. But when you begin to find that, that's when you find that alignment. And then you're able to walk and follow that feeling of that peace. And that's what guides you, opening your heart and following that peace.
Hmm, I love that. It kind of brought up some memories for me of like, I would go to a session of whatever, and then I would have that piece just after the session, whether it was singing bowls, whether it was, I think I tried what craniotherapy, I don't know, like they
Mm-hmm.
move stuff in the head and so many other things. And I would have that, but just like a slice of it. And I would be like,
Yes.
wow, I could feel like that all the time. Like it was just really eye-opening that this was also me because I was in chaos so much without even knowing I was in chaos. I mean, I was not in Feist 27, but I was overworking,
Mm-hmm.
overdoing things. I was never stopping. I was never on my own for most of my life. I was always doing something else or planning what I was going to be doing. So so when I had these glimpses of what it looked like, it really felt good. I remember that. I remember I had an osteopath in Quebec, and I would feel this kind of peace, like this sea that has no waves. And I was like, wow. And then you get back in your car, you're going in traffic, and it all messes everything up again. But
Yep. Oh yeah.
But I remember tapping into that, and that must have been, I don't know, 2018, 2017, when I started
Mm.
to have these very, like, actually tapping into these little glimpses of peace
Mm.
because it felt like it wasn't even me. Because I always been very energetic, so it's like it looks like this part that's so peaceful. It's not even me. Like I couldn't even connect it with me. That's funny. And now it's more like the reverse. If I'm not in that piece, I'm like, there's something to
Hmm.
clear.
I so resonate with everything you're saying because that's it sounds very similar to my journey. Just being in chaos and finding the glimpses of peace. And the more it's like that became the beacon for me to follow was where that peace is, that's where I walk. That's where I go. And I'm certainly not perfect. There's been many times where I've seen the peace and gone, I think I'll go over here. And not not always gone toward it, but it has I have learned to follow it. And it's not all the time. It's not 24/7, but the more I am in alignment with my higher self, the more I follow um, what I know I'm supposed to do, the more that peace is a higher part of my life, a larger part of my life.
Yeah. Yeah, that's the part. It's like, and I guess we could share, maybe we could share like how does that work for people that haven't touched that piece yet? Because for a lot of people, I know for me, like at some point, if they're new to my world, I'm gonna ask them like, "Are you meditating?" And they're like, "No, I'm trying," or I've tried it, didn't work." We all have been there.
Oh yeah.
I'm guilty of that too. But it's not only meditation, but for me meditation is a big thing. But I mean, it's maybe not only that. Anything that bring this beautiful mind of yours up and just calm. When you can get into an activity, I know for women or for anyone, male or female, that really like arts, when you're painting, when you're creating, your mind is not shattering that much because you're
Mm.
like focused onto something that is maybe manual, but it's not so much in the doing, it's more in the being because you're creating with your own feminine energy,
Yeah.
whether if you're male or female. Um, so those can be good. I remember when I lived in Vancouver, they have those beautiful Rocky Mountains, and I would go and hike with my dog. And I remember at some point I would get up maybe 40 minutes in, 45 minutes in, and I would just stop. And it would be
Mm.
silence here, silence within me, silence around me. And I'm talking about it, I'm all shivering. It was just like, oh my God, thank you for giving me this peace. Like, this is how, like, whatever brings you that sense. And you'll know when you're there because it's not an empty, anxious space. It's a
Oh.
full of peace moment. I don't know how to
Yes.
explain it, but
So for me, before I was on this journey of energy work, I would find, like you said, getting out in nature. I had a place that I would walk in, a specific tree that I would go and sit by and journal. And that brought me peace. But just being away from hustle and bustle, away from traffic, away from people, and near nature really helped. And it is the that feeling of peace that I have now was the same feeling. It was just in smaller increments, and I had to really search for it to find it. Um, and it does feel like home, but it does also feel foreign when you're just beginning. It's like, is this okay? Is this normal? Um, and I know you mentioned arts and crafts. I'm a huge believer in using creativity to help to do energy work and to help to align yourself. What I found for myself is that I love being creative, but that I used it as a reward for myself for doing all the things that I had to do. So for getting all the chores done and making sure that everything else is done. And by the end of the day, you're exhausted. And then I didn't have time to be creative. I didn't have time or energy to be able to do it. And so I began actually flipping it. If I had a lot to do, I would make time first to paint something, draw something, sing, dance, um, or go out in nature. And I found myself being more productive if I would do that first instead of doing all the have tos, and then the get tos get pushed to the side, and you never do get to them. And so when you make it a priority, my goodness, everything just flows. It's so much easier to get the dishes done, to clean the house when you're happy, when you're in this place of peace and enjoyment. Everything else is easier. So it seems counterintuitive because our programming in this world is all about doing and all about being productive. And so you have to kind of work against that programming to be able to do that. And it's going to feel a little bit wrong because you're working against that programming. And if you have other people in your life, they may have something to say about it. You know what? Do it anyway. Do it anyway. Get out there. Do what makes you happy. If it's coloring, if it's painting, if it's singing, if it's drawing, if it's whatever it is that brings you joy, it will propel you forward so that you can flow easier with your life.
Yeah. And that's a very interesting point what you're saying, because the society we live in, it's not okay, prioritize whatever makes you feel peaceful first,
No.
and then do the rest. It's not. So as you said, it's really stepping outside of your own box. That's what that's what the whole ascension, the whole, us stepping outside of those programs of you need to work 9 to 5, Monday to Friday, because you went to school for that. I went for school and I'm not even doing what I was, maybe a little bit because I was in social work, but still, it's not what I was supposed to do. And a lot of people, when I decided to do that switch, they were like, man, I'm not sure it's going to work. She's going to have difficulties with her money. She's like, they were projecting their fears onto me. And I had to find people that would bring me forward. If you want to make any change, this is so important. I feel it in my heart. Connect with people that have done those changes for themselves, or they're just very open people so that they bring you the energy that you need. Because if you go to these people that are very programmed, 3D, very, 9 to 5, you need to do what you need to do. And there's not so much fun other than drinking a beer at night. Well, you know, maybe once you decide to open your own business, I think a lot of us will just do that until we finally get rid of this money one day. But and just finding people that can help you to go there, because it's not that easy to step outside of that box, because we've been there for most of our life, and at some point we're like, well, I'm just not happy. I mean, I could have continued on for 30 years in my social work career. I wouldn't be here. I wouldn't be doing this. I wouldn't be helping beautiful souls or meeting beautiful souls. And I would probably be super depressed, drinking at night, and probably not having any time to do anything else. So at some point, and your body's going to tell you if you feel tired and exhausted all the time, there's a reason why. Your body's telling you there's something that needs to be rebalanced. What is it? And then if you journal, I love the idea that you said. I know not everyone is into that, but if you journal about your day, you'll feel when your energy is going down. You feel what relationship doesn't resonate with you anymore, um, and what actually you need to change to be able to step outside of your own box and be more aligned. We talked about alignment a lot today. It's like your soul knows, your higher self, they know your guides too, and inside of your heart you do too. We just have so many layers of programming, so many layers of fears that sometimes are not even ours, that we carry. And it's like, how can I actually spread my wings and fly? But that's a journey. But if you have people supporting, it's a lot easier.
It is.
Yeah. Yeah. Would we be ready to share some of our gifts?
Sure.
Let's do it. Okay. So we were thinking about, probably we'll put some music on. I'll put some music. You can just start by closing your eyes and breathing in through your nose, out through your mouth. Start connecting to this beautiful heart chakra of yours in the middle of your chest. Just allow yourself to just take everything that we talked about and just placing that outside of your beautiful auric field. We don't need to think anymore. We just need to receive the light language that we will be sharing today with you. And that's going to be an alignment light language activation for you. So just receive and continue breathing. If there is any pain in your physical body, if you feel there's a lot of anxiety in your mental body or any stress there, if you feel emotions around you, that in your heart, anywhere within you that you want to release, anything that is not aligned with your highest timeline will be released. Just set the intention to be on the other side, coming out peacefully, in harmony with your soul, more connected to who you are. Breathe in and out and receive. Breathe in and out. Allow yourself to anchor these energies within you. Sense and feel that everything you have released is filled with love, filled with harmony, filled with peace, filled with everything that your body needs physically, emotionally. Hugging your inner child, telling her she's going to be okay, or him. Giving love to your ancestors, to your family, your pets. Sensing that your mental body is releasing any lower frequency thoughts and programming that does not serve you, and seeing what is best for you at this time. And any programs of this society, any negative energy that could have been sent to you, any cords are also being released now. Breathe in and out, and continue clearing and receiving. Rainaishi siniara nuporoi ya ana zamoroi koraitasia tatara roitati moro nani kaini ya dimu aini koraitati amaya sain rutakati Why aniti tiaradaya. Receive the keys and codes of your beautiful higher self coming forward and giving you everything that you need to step fully into your power. Receive, receive, receive. Open your heart and open all of your chakras and let this energy merge with you for a moment. And now see your future self and see that you are your future self, just connecting to what you're doing, sensing, feeling. What is it that you're experiencing? Just connect with this highest part of you and bring it in to anchor it inside of you now. Just bring the energies of these visions that you have for yourself in your heart. When you're ready, just go back to where you're sitting right now and just start connecting with your physical body, just thanking your beautiful higher self, the guides, and all of the beautiful beings of unconditional love that supported this beautiful transmission. Connecting to your heart, ground yourself fully in your beautiful earth star chakra below the soles of your feet. Send your energy down to earth, and as we do this together, we send this loving energy, this alignment to all of the beautiful souls on this planet. We give them love, we spread joy to the heart of everyone, all of the children, all of the adults, all of the elders. everyone on this planet open to receive will receive an energetic transmission of love, peace, and joy. And when you're ready, you can bring your energy from the center of the earth back into you, asking Mother Gaia to ground you fully in this present moment. Sense your root chakra being more heavy at the bottom of your spine, just connecting with that part of you. You can connect to source with your energy, sending your energy up to source just to see wherever it is source for you. You can go through the galaxy, you can go through the stars, you can go wherever you feel source is, connect there and bring that protection, that guidance, that safety to be on earth, because you're always protected, loved, and cherished by Gaia and source.
Each and every one of you is having such a beautiful light within your heart. You can connect to that light. That light is you. It is your truth. It is that peace. When you stand in that light and in that truth, that is where you will find alignment. When you stand fully in that light, fully within your power, within your most authentic self, that is when you shine. The earth, source, all of your guides, they meet you there at that place, deep within you, your highest, brightest, most authentic. Each of you will sit with that light, that truth. This is where you can connect not only to yourself, not only to your highest self, but to each other. That connection, that beautiful starseed connection. It's what makes things really take off. Expansion, connection, ascension. Allow yourselves to truly access that part of yourself, to connect. I see it as a grid flowing between all of the star seeds, all of the energy workers. And it truly creates change. When we connect and work together. As those connections are made, we can call out to the universe and let the universe know that the healing has happened, that the connections have been made, and that all is done. Call attention so that it is manifested and it is done. And then you can bring your attention back into the center of the back into alignment with Mother Gaia, with Source. Present with yourself, present in this moment, in this place, in this moment.
Take your time to come back. Beautiful. Beautiful. So you have a bit of a try of our energies. Beautiful. I love the grid work. It's beautiful. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. I think that's a part that we have to remember that we don't have to do this alone anymore. And I know a lot of us starseed feel so alone so often. So um, I found that when I actually connect with the grid of this earth, the ley lines, and ask my guides to connect me energetically with other pillars of
Mm,
light, it helps.
yes.
Even if you're not always connected with them, in the physical realm. But I do see in my visions that we will be creating those beautiful communities together. We won't be, you know, forever alone in our in our village or in our cities. I feel that we're gonna be coming more and more together. But that was beautiful to sense and to feel. Thank you.
Thank you.
Mhm. Beautiful. So we will leave Lauren's contact at the bottom of this recording so that you can have a look and contact her if you want to work with her, because that's also part of this Starseed Gathering podcast is also that it's being able to have more of a expansion of who we are, what we do, and connect maybe with souls in a way that would want to connect with us, um, however that looks like. So we're gonna leave the details below. And do you have any last words before we finish that you would like to share?
I look forward to meeting many of you, and I'm so grateful to be able to have this space where we can gather and meet, and energetically, if not physically, and that there are so many beautiful people all over the world, all over this beautiful planet, that are able to connect in this way, and it's absolutely beautiful.
Yes, that's so true. Yes. So if you feel called to work with Lauren, or work with me, or just look what we do, I do have free sessions. I have one that's going to be coming up. So, there's always ways of connecting with us and experiencing us, I would say. So, yeah, so it was beautiful to have you, beautiful soul, Lauren. I'm sending you a big, big hug from Mexico.
Well, thank you. Same from Houston, Texas.
Yay. And thank you again for being here. And we will see you in the next podcast. Bye, everyone.
Absolutely. Bye.